for Attorney General is indeed in deep trouble tonight. A top Republican threatening to sink Trump's pick for the job. Now, the Senate Judiciary Committee was scheduled to vote. It was a key vote in just a few hours. But the way things were going, this was going to go through. Republicans were going to get on board. It was going to happen. But that is not what has happened. And it is no longer clear tonight if that vote will happen. We'll see. I mean, at this hour, there's a flurry of activity, meetings behind closed doors between Republicans. Todd Blanche just left the Capitol. He refused to answer questions. So there's a lot of drama. He even went to the White House this afternoon. So here's what it comes down to. Republican Senator John Cornyn wants it in writing that Trump's $1.8 billion basically slush fund for his political allies is dead for good, is over, is not going to happen, not get resurrected. As of now, it does not appear Cornyn is getting the assurance he needs.
You haven't heard from the DOJ at all? They haven't responded to you after you sent that back to them?
As I told you earlier, it was not responsive to my concerns. I mean, we've heard from them. It's just that they refuse to commit to writing what he testified to under oath. And it's not a big ask.
Why don't you think Todd Blanche has met your demands as we're in the 11th hour before this vote?
Well, I assume he's getting some pushback from the president's lawyers.
Here's the thing. We know that this slush fund matters a lot to Trump, and that may be what this is all about. But Cornyn is correct that it is not a big ask if you actually believe what people tell you under oath, and if you believe that people are people of honor, and when they say they're going to do something, they're going to do it. I mean, Blanche, in his confirmation hearing, testified that the fund was dead. But then he admitted it could be brought back by Trump's lawyers.
Just to be clear, the President of the United States, who is a plaintiff in this lawsuit, has not agreed in writing to delete the weaponization fund, and there's no guarantee that he or one of the other plaintiffs might raise that issue by way of a lawsuit and a breach of contract lawsuit in the future.
I suppose they could bring a lawsuit, and then we would litigate it.
So Trump's lawyers could bring back the fund, which Trump calls a great idea. It is a fund that could be used to pay, for example, rioters who attacked the U.S. Capitol and police officers on January 6th. Now, time's of the essence for the Justice Department here, because if this vote in committee does not happen, this could push Blanche's full confirmation vote into the fall, into September, after the August recess, right? So this is a serious delay if it doesn't happen here. The showdown comes 71 days, of course, after Trump refused to back Cornyn in that ugly Texas Senate runoff, instead backing his highly controversial and challenged challenger, Ken Paxton, a decision which brought an end to the senator's more than 20 years in Congress, and one that Trump speculates is the reason Cornyn is putting up such a fight about the fund now.
Maybe John Cornyn's upset with me because I didn't endorse him. I don't know what it is.
Well, whatever it is, Cornyn admits he's now free to vote as he wishes. Doesn't have to try to assuage and appease Trump. He can do what he wants, whether it makes Trump happy or not.
You would acknowledge, though, not having to run for re-election anymore has freed you up to be more independent from the president. Would you acknowledge that?
Have you noticed?
So when the president says that you're doing this as a political vendetta, what do you say to that?
That's a convenient excuse, and it happens to be untrue.
Manu Raju is out front live from Capitol Hill. Manu, we just saw you asking all those questions there, and really fascinating to see what he was willing to say to you. I mean, where does Blanche's nomination stand right now? I understand there's all these kind of last-minute backdoor meetings going on. Is it really in danger?
Yeah, it is, and it's hanging by a thread. And the Senator, John Cornyn, has made his demands really crystal clear for weeks now. He wanted these assurances in writing, wanted to make it clear that the $1.8 billion fund would not go through, and that the president, the efforts to try to get future presidents and the current president not to be subject to IRS tax enforcement, that exemption would be essentially nullified. He wanted that all in writing and said, if you give me those things in writing, I will vote yes. He has not gotten that in writing. He said he has gotten some proposal from the Justice Department, but he said he has sent that back with a bunch of red lines signs in that proposal, and he has not heard back since then or anything that's responsive to his demands, which means this, Aaron, that if he votes no tomorrow in that committee, there's not enough votes to advance Todd Blanche's nomination to the Senate floor, given how narrowly divided that Senate Judiciary Committee is. And if it doesn't advance the Senate floor, it's effectively dead, which is why Chuck Grassley, the Senate Judiciary Committee chairman, has been working behind the scenes with the White House, trying to see if there's any accommodation whatsoever for Cornyn. And Grassley has refused to say if he plans to delay this vote tomorrow. In fact, he just told us just moments ago that he's checking with his staff about what the update is and will decide whether to provide an update. But if he just delays this vote until next week, because the senators are leaving town tomorrow, Aaron, that means if he brought this back up next week, it would almost certainly push back the final confirmation vote until after Labor Day. And at that point, who knows what the political dynamic will be like as we get closer to the election. Will they actually resolve John Cornyn's concerns, which is why there is a ton of pressure right now on Cornyn to align himself with the president. But as you heard from there right there, he told me that he is feeling very independent these days, particularly since he no longer has to run for re-election after losing to that Trump-backed challenger.
John Cornyn. Okay, there were so many times when he would go along with Trump, and now he's saying, have you noticed? Have you noticed that I feel a freedom? Do you think he'll hold firm?
I do. I actually do. First of all, we've learned that people's word cannot be trusted, because the first thing that should be fire alarms for everyone is Todd Blanche said under oath that it was dead, but it's apparently not, because he won't sign the papers. Number two, this is John Cornyn unleashed, okay? John Cornyn believes that the slush fund is wrong, and there's no way in hell Grassley is calling this vote tomorrow if John Cornyn is a no. I've been before this Senate committee. They're not going to call a vote unless John Cornyn is a yes. And by the way, Thom Tillis is not completely a yes set either. But what's more upsetting to me than even talking about the slush fund is, why are any of these senators saying it's okay to approve Todd Blanche simply because of the Epstein files? Like, suddenly that's all okay now, the way that he handled that? This should be concerning to every
Among many
senator.
things, the visit to Ghislaine Maxwell in the prison when she was suddenly moved, and the fact that half the documents still haven't been put out when they said they were going to put them all out. I mean, Ryan, what does it say to you? Again, I guess back to the point of somebody being good for their word, which now we live in a world where it sadly matters much less than it used to. But you go under oath, you say it's dead, then it may not be dead, and now you won't sign the paper. What does it say that he won't sign the paper?
It's astonishing, and the same thing has actually occurred not
We plan everything in one space. Roadmaps
in the Senate, but also in the courts. So a federal judge said to Todd Blanche and the Justice Department, give me in writing what you committed to in Congress. They said, no, his word in Congress should stand, which is just unbelievable. Why wouldn't you just put it in writing? The court is asking for that to guarantee that the case is truly over, and then the court can dismiss the case. And that's even putting himself and the Justice Department at risk, because it's a judge who might sanction them for their behavior in the case that created the slush fund in the first place, yet he won't do it. So there's something that's really hanging them up, even as Senator Cornyn said, it should be an easy ask.
It should, because they said under oath, he said under oath that it was dead, right? I mean, I'm just saying, hey, all you got to do is say that you.
We just got in from some MS Now reporting that Thom Tillis told MS Now it's more likely than not that tomorrow's Blanche vote is canceled. He says, quote, with the passing time, it's going to be difficult for me to think that we can get all this language ironed out and then get everybody to be fair to DOJ. There are several parties that they have to work with once you get the language. So I think that's probably why I think it's unlikely we could have all of this settled tonight, Cornyn told me. This is from one of our colleagues. Sky, you hearing that now, that it actually, maybe they do have some spines over there in Capitol Hill. Maybe the work that you guys have done actually matters and moves them and makes them stop and think sometimes. What are your thoughts?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, we'll be there one way or the other, okay? So if the vote happens, we'll be there. If the vote doesn't happen, we'll be there.
Proposed. They didn't give you anything in writing, is that right?
Not me.
So have you spoken to Blanche, too, since in the last couple of days?
We've had 2 meetings scheduled that have now been canceled because they have not been responsive in providing those written documents. So,
Senator, you've been incredibly clear with what you would like Todd Blanche to do. What do you think?
I don't know. I've been using English.
And you've been incredibly clear for days now. What do you think the holdup is here?
Beats me. maybe they think I'm just going to give up or, go along, but they're mistaken.
Did they say they're going to respond to you by 4 p.m. today? Did they say they're going to respond to you by 4 p.m.?
I think they realize now that we're serious, and I think Senator Tillis is pretty much on this.
What's happening here is a major political showdown over Todd Vlansh's nomination to begin the next U.S. Attorney General. The biggest issue is that two Republican senators, John Cornyn and Tom Tillis, are refusing to fully support the nomination unless the Department of Justice puts certain commitments in writing. They want official documents confirming that our controversial DOJ fund will not be brought back and that part of previous IRS settlement will be changed. According to the report, a planned meeting between Todd Vlanshe and Senator was cancelled because Cornyn said he had not received the written proposals he requested. As a result, he publicly stated that he was not prepared to vote yes at that time, putting the nomination in serious doubt.